Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new type of experimental format. I want to try out more live streams, and we don't even have a name yet, so let's just call this Dinesh Puni Live or something like this. But yeah, very, very looking forward to the structure. So my commitment to you guys is every week on probably Thursday afternoon. Um, I want to talk about a topic. Maybe this could be some learnings that I have of being in this industry for 10 plus years, surviving all of these ups and downs, currently also some of those. Inviting amazing guests because there's like a lot of really, really talented people that I know that I would love for them to share their voice as well. Having interactive Q&A sessions with you guys, maybe even in the future building some cool tools for us to interact even more and figuring out a way, despite the very limited time of running a business, to still create consistent content. So that's kind of like the big vision, the big idea of this new format. And yeah, really looking forward to trying it out. Again, feel free to let me know all of your feedback and how we can improve it. What do you like? What do you not like? I will probably make a new experiment with every episode. So let's see. Hi, Ahmed. What's up, man? And also, guys, since we are online and live, let me know where you guys are from. I think we got like 100 plus people registering from LinkedIn, which is pretty freaking cool. So I'm very, very excited for this one. Um, really looking forward to even having discussions and conversations with you. It's not just like you asking questions and then me answering. I think that is not only one way of doing this, but also like, of course, feel free to share your thoughts, especially on those topics right now. And without further ado, I want to get started right away, really to addressing the elephant in the room, which is that Meta just laid off 10% of their Reality Labs workforce, which is around 1,500 people, across Reality Labs, which is super, super sad news. Like many of those have been friends of mine who have been working together. And that is just like really, really sad to see. And many of those were also very talented and dedicated people. And I think that is like a big shocker for all of us right now, that this is happening like so early in this year already. But for this session now, I really, really want to focus on, okay, what does it mean for us, like for all of us working and trying to strive in this industry? How can we deal with the new reality, basically, and how can we do the most out of it? I think that is like really something that all of us should be thinking, because one very, very important thing is like this should not really come as a surprise to us, as Meta has been really like artificially building this industry, to be very, very honest here. They have been like creating artificial demand by subsidizing these headsets to sell them as a loss, to just like pump a lot of money. I mean, 70 billions in R&D, like putting in this industry, really like shoving the Horizon Worlds into all of our throats. And there's just like so much stuff that has been happening, and really like investing in literally anything. I mean, like there has been like millions of grants being thrown at all of these competitions, at, of course, many studios, many content productions, but also us as event organizers. We have been sponsored by Meta for the past couple of years, 4 years. I don't know how it's going to be for this year. Maybe yes, maybe no. But I think that is something that has been predictable, because now we are seeing a like more real, let's say like XR reality, where there's like less over investing going on. I think this is like really, really important, that kind of like our industry has basically being like overdosed with like hardcore drugs to just make it very volatile. It was kind of like a all in bet. Like we go all in, we spend like, again, like freaking billions and billions and billions into this, and see if it works or not. Whereas at the other side, the AI glasses, of course, they're like really taking off. So it's kind of like a strategic decision that is now our new reality. A few very important things. I mean, first of all, Meta is not the entire XR industry. There's like a lot of amazing other players. I think this is really, really critical. And also, I think now we can really see how can we deal as individuals with this? How can we deal as companies with this? really trying to address both because I'm like a hybrid. I have my own company in this field, and many people from our community wants to grow into XR. Whether they want to make their own company at some point, whether they want to start their own business, or they want to work somewhere. I want to share my fundamental workflow and my framework that has helped me to survive 10 plus years in this field. Like this year marks 10 years, which is really cool. Have been starting, I started XR like for real in 2016. I tried it out first time in 2014. And that is like really something I've seen a lot of ups and downs. But despite all of those times, given those fundamental things I want to talk about, like really these like three main pillars, we have been growing like pretty good actually, which is really good to know. Of course, like Meta has been helping in that sense, but we have been independent of Meta. We have like a bunch of other customers also, from XR companies to enterprise companies to different projects and everything. And all of those learnings that have helped me, independent of XR, like this actually applies to anything in life, to be honest. Those are the things that I want to share. We share many of those things with our deep community at XRCC also. Many of them who got a job right after our events, which is amazing. Many of them who got like pretty good funding also. Many of them who started companies, and that is like pretty much how I want to structure it. So really, after watching this, you will have a hopefully very solid plan in like how to navigate the future, not just this year. I think this is like really something like essentially lifelong, and has helped me for many years, like thinking in that way. All right, so as you guys can see, I have a little pen over here. And before I get started, actually, one thing that I want to mention, like kind of like the expectation setting of this and the future sessions, is in the beginning chunk, I will kind of like create a video basically on demand. So this will be then put as a YouTube video later on. And then after, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes, whatever time it takes, then I want to start the discussion. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love if you, of course, share your honest opinion. Also, if you disagree, because I am no saint, I don't know everything in the planet. Just share my thoughts as well. But if you heavily disagree, then let's have a conversation about this. So that's kind of the setup. And yeah, I'm going to try out a couple of new things. Starting here, I am a very heavy user of the Remarkable. I'm gonna write down a bunch of things over here to kind of like make it a bit more interactive and not just like you listening to me, watching my face all the time. So really, like the main focus is how to survive 2026 and beyond. I hope you will be able to read all of this. If not, then just scream at me in the comments, and I will do my very best to kind of like really keep it nice and smooth as well, so you can also read it. So there's gonna be three pillars that I want to talk about that are really fundamental actually. Has been for my journey. I really see this for the future as well. And then two like bonus levers like that kind of like increase the whole thing. One here, and then let's say one here. But without overloading you with like a bunch of context, let's start with this one first. And this is something I truly believe that is going to be something that is not just helpful for this year, but it's something that is very essential for your entire life, professional and for your career life. I'm gonna not go like super deep, like 20-30 minutes per topic, because that will just like make a stream way too long. So it's up to you to throw in the comments if you want to have any deep dive on any of those topics, because I have like 1 billion topics in my mind I can talk about extensively. So I really like give you guys some snippets, and then I'm happy to make like many more dedicated sessions on each of those. But the first thing, and this is like really changing also over the years, this is gonna be, I'm gonna call this skill stacking. And what do I mean by that? So the really like the foundation of everything in your life is having skills. Kind of like makes sense. But the very important thing is that given AI dominating everything, and the abstraction layer is getting more and more and more, which means that you can just prompt a website. Like, you don't need to know anything about programming or design or any of that stuff. You can just go to Replit, Lovable, or ChatGPT or Claude or any of these 1 million tools now out there and just build something really fast. So it's kind of like raising a lot of questions and makes things like more uncertain. Like, what does it mean to be skilled? Should you now go kind of like, if we see it here as a graph, like on the left side, on the right side here, that would be like, I don't know, let's call this hardcore prompter, core prompter. That's kind of like the extreme example, trying to build a business with one prompt. Like, that's kind of ridiculous, even though that's the promise that AI does and XR does and every new technology does. Like, hey, in 5 minutes you're going to become a millionaire. That's kind of ridiculous. Hopefully you agree and see this also. Because it's like a very high abstraction layer. Again, you can go to ChatGPT or Claude or any of those tools and get a business plan if you want to, or build your VR app even. We even did this as some YouTube videos as a testing. So that is kind of like that extreme. The other extreme is, I don't know how I would say, is like basically build everything yourself, like literally everything. Because on the other side, like, if you, let's take, I mean, since we are like pretty familiar with the XR space, let's take game development or like XR development as an example. Like, you don't want to, you typically, I mean, unless it's a hobby or if you want to be really efficient, you don't want to build your own game engine. You don't want to build your own render pipeline. You don't want to build your own physics engine. Like, you want to stay on the shoulders of the giants, basically. Like, you don't want to not use a phone. You want like build your own phone and like all of that stuff. That will be the extreme side here. It's kind of like the example when I was learning software development at university. Like, there was like more on that side, because we had to like literally build like assembly files ourselves and build our own bubble sort. This was only done because, of course, like to understand it deeply, but that's not how you would go into the real world, which is like why so many people coming out of university kind of suck in real life, because they learn all of these theoretic concepts and they are not allowed to use any abstraction layer. Let's say here we are like at a code editor, for example, and here we are at a game engine, and now here we have kind of like cursor as an example, kind of like AI enhanced code editors, for example. And then here we have like almost here we have like tools like vibe coding. So how do you like figure out for yourself how deep you go in that direction or that direction? Of course, there's no obvious clear answer to this, because it's more like a dichotomy to deal with rather than a problem to solve. And for me, at least, how I see this for skill stacking is, I typically, for anything that I do, I always triple understand the, and then fundamentals. I think that is the angle that I would like to take for anything. Like, if it's if you want to learn how to play chess, for example, then you really want to know like openings, you want to know a little bit of chess theory and so on, and then you can kind of like check out some cool tips and tricks. Or a similar example I always like to give is computer science. Like, I typical college dropout, but still, I was very, very deeply interested in understanding fundamentals, like everything from bits to bytes to how is the CPU built. I built my own PC back then. Now this would translate into trying to understand how exactly do LLMs work, why do AI sometimes hallucinate, the issues on a deeply, deeply technical level. Not because I want to build my own LLM, which could be cool as well, but really to kind of understand in how to apply it. So I think this goes for many different things, to be honest, which is, if you know the fundamentals and you know the like the like first principles. Similar for business. Like you can go to ChatGPT. I could even do this maybe even live. No, next time when I have any weird financial kind of settings on my ChatGPT window. But I think the thing, like, you can just go there and tell me, hey, build me a business plan for my current business year, and it will do it. But it will do some random thing if you don't know exactly what you need. And this, again, also applies to coding. So I would highly suggest you always deeply learn and understand the fundamentals, build something from scratch first, and then go ahead and use the extreme high abstraction. Because this stuff, you don't want to completely ignore it, because it's insane. Like, again, like these vibe coding tools, they are not like black and white. It's a tool, and I actually leverage it a lot to run and organize my business. Again, let me know in the comments if you want me to make a dedicated episode, because again, we are like a very small team for like 5 people, and actually in the event we're just like 3 people managing the event, and it's like 3,500 people with hundreds of partners involved, and like thousands of content pieces going out, and like dozens of lectures. Like all of this is like automated because we use that level here, and we can only use it because we understand it over here very deeply. So I know exactly what I want, what I need. Same goes for editing, for example, video editing. I know what I want, I know what I need, I know what's good, I know what's bad, and then I can kind of like instruct. Doesn't have to be AI, but like higher levels. This could also be hiring people, delegating stuff, and so on. So I think like this is something for you. Again, going back to XR, try to build projects, try to then build projects even faster, try to do it first or without any AI stuff, like really learn, hey, what are the fundamentals of programming? I don't understand variables, understand data structure, understand algorithms, understand Git, and then to order to use stuff like Cursor to like really build it much faster. And then once you have this, you can use tools like Rapid or Lovable to just like get a prototype really fast. Ideally internally, you don't want to have your entire business on just this one without understanding it. But that's kind of how I see it moving forward to this year, because there's like a lot of changes. And what does it really mean to take the advantage of this year, but not neglecting this year? And that's how I see it, at least for how we stack our skills, and has been really profitable and helpful so far. So that is kind of like how I see it for the first kind of department. Again, this goes for sales, marketing, content also. Like you can go to, again, any of these tools, be like, hey, write me a LinkedIn post. You get a LinkedIn post. It's probably going to be shit, which is why you want to train your AI on your own skills. But how do you get those skills? You understand them and learn them. It's the same for video, for the live stream right now. I'm now like learning all of this game, and then I can like really use a bunch of abstraction and a bunch of cool things that make everything 10 times faster. But right now I'm just like doing like caveman style. I have my camera here, my mic here, and that's it. And the rest is just my brain. So let me go back here. So that was the skill stacking. Skill stacking. All right. Everything clear so far. Chat, give me a sign of life. I'm having my window open over here. So if something is coming up, I will see it. Do you agree? Do you disagree? In the meantime, I will try to make it a little bit more pretty, this circle over here, because it's kind of ugly. And I should make it. It's not too bad. There we go. Cool. All right. So I think this is kind of like the base foundation, which is why I have it in the bottom as well. The next thing is honestly my ultimate cheat code. This is like my biggest unfair advantage, and I see very little people utilizing this. Let me actually already draw a nice circle over here. That's not super nice, but it's okay. It does its job. It's really a huge unfair advantage of mine and many people that I know that are like really striving also. And somehow it's like completely underestimated and completely neglected. The big issue is the more you wait, the more you will fall behind and the more difficult it will get actually. And it actually goes hand in hand with the skill building, which is pretty cool because that's like why I have these circles. These three things, they kind of like really supplement each other to make you extremely valuable in terms of economic value. Like you are amazing as a human being, of course, but your, let's say, economic value that just like goes over the roof. And what is it? I mean, let me know in the chat. Maybe I talk about those kind of concepts a lot, pretty often in my close communities and everything. So if anybody has a nice guess already, we can definitely integrate that as well. Let's see. So far, I don't see too much, but I guess it's because there's a delay, so I will just get started already. So the second one that is kind of like building on top of this, which is oh shit, personal brand building. And if anybody knows me, you guys have hearing me a lot talking about this, because this is just so freaking powerful. And how do you do this? You learn the skills and then you share about it online. And I think here the number of benefits of posting something online, it's incredibly powerful and like really underestimated. This goes for any format. The cool thing is it doesn't have to be video like I'm doing right now, like live video. This can be voice. This can be like audio format, podcast type of thing. This can be video. I think video is the coolest, of course. This can also be written. Like there's a bunch of really cool newsletter guys who read a lot of newsletters also. This can be any form that you like. And the important thing really is that this is the thing that really makes you independent of company layouts because people just know you. And people also kind of like almost put you on a pedestal, if that makes sense. There had so many occasions where people watch my videos and see me and treat me like I'm some sort of celebrity. It's kind of crazy, but unlike just like feeling cool or whatever you want to call this, it is actually an asset that grows over time. I mean, I started posting on YouTube in 2018 when I was learning skill staking, when I was just freaking learning VR development, AI development, and I shared about it online. I have a bunch of very old videos on my YouTube channel, still back with what was it, Google Cardboard and AI Foundation and AI Core and all of those type of things, and they helped me to grow an audience very fast. That audience was the key for me to actually got introduced to Meta because Meta was watching my videos, not just Meta, like most of the big companies actually. And the other crazy thing here is I actually had some multi five-figure deals closing in 10 minutes because the guy watched my content. They're like, hey, dude, I already know you. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, I watched like your content for so many years. Let's make this a big deal. No problem. It's done. So you kind of like build trust on steroids, which is crazy. Of course, it depends on what you post about. If you just like only do memes and funny stuff, could also be working. I mean, if you are a comedian, then it's cool. But if you want to try to kind of like build I don't know, like a knowledge-based brand in that case, or like building some authority in an industry, and that is kind of like how you do it. And again, this applies for any industry. This can go for XR, learn something, share about it. There's so many people, which is why I push all of our XRCC participants to post about their stuff online. Many of them get viral, get like 100,000 of views, and kind of like get a ton of open opportunities. We had some guys, I don't say that's the only reason, but one of the reasons probably, they actually got like six-figure funding from Meta and other big companies. I had many other teams from XRCC who got five-figure fundings also. And like all of those things, it's often because they have been put on the map. Because it already immediately gives you authority if you're talking to somebody who has like, I don't know, 50,000 or 100,000 followers, which is just being consistent, to be honest. And I even had the case that was like kind of the craziest one where someone who watches my videos closed a deal for me with somebody else who did not know me, but he had trust with him. And that is why he trusted me and also just got me like this big deal immediately. And that just shows how much is happening kind of like behind the scenes. I mean, that's also why one of the reasons why I'm starting to build the show, also because I want to engage with you guys, but also of course I kind of like build my brand, build my authority, and just share really cool stuff that I've been learning over many years. And extremely underestimated. Again, let me know in the comments when and if you want to know more about that kind of stuff, because it's really kind of like a drug, to be honest. It's like an enhancing, how do you call this, enhancing drug or something like this. Super crazy. All right, so that is it for this topic. Again, I can talk so much about my workflows, how I leverage AI. If we go back here, what are the fundamentals of posting online? How do you kind of like go abstraction layer higher and higher to here for us to be able to create like hundreds of posts per year, basically. I'm not on the 10,000s of posts per year yet, but let's see. But again, like it's the same with any skill. Like you start slow and then you just like get a lot of leverage. And by using these tools, you can build your own kind of like interface where you have the stuff that you like, the stuff that you've shared about, the stuff that you have said in the past. You press one button and you get a post immediately, and then you refine it. Like there's a lot of workflows I can talk about. So always happy to talk more deeply about it because it has helped me a ton. So now there's a third bucket, which is right here. And this is kind of like one thing where you want to combine those two to make the most out of it. This is kind of like the missing ingredient that many people actually completely forget and don't have on their mind, except for if you're a business owner, because then you don't have a business if you don't have this. But the cool thing is you can kind of like translate lessons from one area to another, like very well. Like I could give so many, I don't know, fitness examples and how they apply to skill staking and personal brand building and so on. But this is a lesson that is typically very essential in business, but it applies even more to your own life as well. If you kind of like break it down in that format. And same here, despite that it's so freaking powerful, everybody lacks it. It is something that brings those things together. And if you see my stuff, like my website or my personal profile or my posts, even, I use it everywhere I can. I just like spam my team with this. And now, okay, the $1 million question: what the hell am I talking about? Maybe again, somebody take a nice guess. If somebody has an idea what I'm talking about, let me see if I can give you a tip. A little tip would be that this is actually pretty much required if you want to work somewhere. And it's also pretty much required if you want to get a client. It kind of like combines those two things. So whether you want to build your own business, whether you want to land a dream job, it's pretty much always required to have this. Let's see. So far, brand building, great topic. Might get a bit crowded now. Blah blah blah. I will love to get into all of your questions, by the way, after this last section, and then we can really have a nice discussion. So, without further ado, let me see. You want to build. What do you want to build? You want to build a stack. What kind of stack? Of proof. Boom. What the hell is this? That's basically the equivalent of a portfolio. So we can also just call this portfolio. Portfolio. But honestly, portfolio is like not enough, because this can be actually in many different ways. So this could be a portfolio. This could be proof, of course. That is the most important word here. This can be testimonials. Oops. Work samples. It's kind of the same. But basically, you want to be able to prove that you are as good as you say you are. I think that is the most important thing. Like if you apply somewhere as a designer or like a video editor I mean, I'm actually hiring right now for a video editor, and of course asking for work samples. If they have a portfolio already with like a bunch of videos they created, amazing, I will check it out and then it will help me. Also, for me as a business, like if you go to XRCC, why do you think like all of these agencies and companies have like the logo kind of wall, like all of these logos they've been working with? Because it is proof. It shows, okay, this big company has worked with this team and this big company has worked with this team. What is even better is having testimonials. Testimonials, again, you need this as a business, 100%. But imagine you have like a very high profile person in your industry who's like very well known and very has a very strong brand, and that person is endorsing you. It's like, hey man, this dude is amazing, or this girl is amazing. This is extremely valuable, and you want to chase for those things. You always want to get those type of in quotes compliments. I mean, that's even a dedicated section on LinkedIn. But you can combine all of this in one website, which again, going up here, you can easily use these vibe coding tools because they're pretty powerful now to just build your own portfolio. I would actually have this one as a call to or like an action step for you guys to really think about this. Okay, build something, post about it online, and put it in a new portfolio slash website that you have to kind of like build your stack of proof that you are kind of like showcasing all of these things. Again, it's the same for me when I want to get a sponsor in an industry, and I had a similar sponsor already. And I mean, I can just give you some concrete examples, to be honest. So we had Cupra, which is a company owned by Volkswagen. They make really nice cars. We had them as a sponsor a couple of times. We have pretty nice testimonials. We also had like insanely sick testimonials from Meta, from many of the people that sadly I used to work with a couple of years ago. But we have like extremely good testimonials from these guys because they had a really good time working with us. Of course, they promote us if they have a good time. If you do a good job, people will support you on that side. Now going to other companies, like imagine now, I don't know, Google, Snap, Pico, all of the other big XR players, they all see, hey, Meta loves this guy. Meta spends like a ton of money over 5 years. They keep working with this guy, and all of these higher ups are saying, hey, this guy is amazing, or this event is amazing. Of course, it will have a massive advantage for us organizers to close deals much faster. Same for if you apply for a job. So that is why I think like the building the stack of proof is something that is like very underestimated. The best way, by the way, stack of, and here let's have this like the gap. This gap, if you have a objective proof, this is something that I talk internally in my company a lot about. What is objective proof? It's numbers, it's statistics, it's KPIs. We organized the world's biggest hackathon. There's not much you can say against it. We had like 3,500 people joining our hackathon last year. And also about this number, like, okay, we got like 200 projects. I think for the XR Design Challenge, I don't know all the numbers in my mind. That's why we track them. We got 2 million impressions for the hackathon and so on. Like having these numbers is extremely helpful. We got 9.1 out of 10 rating for one of the hackathons, and so on and so on. And those numbers, there's like nothing you can, it's not emotional, it's just like a fact. And having those objective facts is even more helpful. A simple example, like if you don't organize hackathons, a simple example would be, hey, I won XRCC, I won this hackathon, I'm a 3 times hackathon winner. Or you want something else, or you did something else, or you have been working with like 17,000 people or something like this. Like try to track stuff that you do. Try to track your success, have it as a number, and then display this number. Again, these are like more like entrepreneurial, but if you start becoming entrepreneurial in your personal life, even better. So I think that is like definitely something where if you combine those 3 things, I think it's going to be extremely powerful for you moving forward in the future. For this year, for the next years, this will make you so much more stable. And the 2 little like bonus points I want to talk about is, let me remove this real quick. I'm not gonna go super deep, but first of all, of course, is AI leverage. I think there's like it's not even possible anymore to talk about anything without throwing AI inside. But again, it's true. AI like just increases all of those. It increases your skill staking. You just learn significantly fast. Like I'm I have a PhD in taxes and law and like so many things because I need to learn all of this shit for running a business. And I just learn it like 50 times faster. It's crazy. I can just build a mock-up of a website in half an hour and then give it to my designer, and then she builds it. It's amazing. So AI leverage also increases the brand building because you can just produce so much freaking more. You don't need a huge media team. You can just like do it like bam, 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 bam. Still start slow and then move up so you understand what you're doing. And also it helps you to kind of like track a lot of different things, a lot of different attributes. So that is huge. And then the last one is your network. Like I would have none of the success by myself, obviously. None of us do any of this stuff alone. uh, that is the biggest advantage that we have in this community, in this industry. The XR industry so far, because we are all struggling, it's really, really supportive and non-toxic. There are so many other industries that are extremely toxic, but here there's like so much equal support and people helping out each other. And this, of course, only works if you know those people from online, but also from in person. Like join events, join hackathons, join communities, and just like be exchanging, helping out people. I can 1 billion% guarantee you it will come back 10 times more. There's so many people that I know from 10 years ago that are now like my close partners, which is so beautiful to see. Like some of us who have been surviving these many, many difficult years, us kind of like bonding and growing together more and more and more, and us succeeding together. I think there's something really beautiful to see. And that is why I think like having an amazing community in the XR industry is a huge advantage we should really use. But it only works if you are talking to people, of course. So don't be shy. People are really, really, really nice. Um, and I'm also happy to facilitate any of that stuff for you. Like if you have any wishes, how I can help you guys, let me know. But yeah, really, that covers it up. I think start with deeply, deeply, deeply figuring out learning skills fast, learning them for real, understand the foundation, understand the first principles about it. You can do it so much faster now. It's insane. And then like leverage the shit out of it, and you become superhuman. Like again, in our company, that's my goal, and that's also what I think is all of us, we're like 10x I don't know, engineers, designers, people. All of us are like 10x people or employees or professionals, which is why we can make those huge events um, with so little stuff. Then, biggest secret, honestly, because there's like a bunch of people here who are incredible. Many of you have the skills, many of you are amazing, but you don't freaking talk about it. So, I think that is something. Figure out what do you like, what is some format that works for you. Do an experiment. I'm doing this right now. Like I have no fucking clue what I'm doing here, but I improve it every single time, which is again coming back to the skills. I do this consistently to improve this consistently, and then I measure the hell out of it, because then I can do I can kind of like have my proof. Okay, this model works. Then I can start to, if I want to monetize it or to do anything with it. And I also know, okay, this is going in the right direction. So those three combined, plus these two bonuses here, is what I have for this session. And now I would love to hear your thoughts in this format. Let me know your questions. Let me know your thoughts first of all. I want to hear critique now. I think we can remove the remarkable now. Very good. Throw me with some critique, and what do you agree and what do you disagree? Of course, don't just say, wow, good job. Hey, Tejas, what's up, man? That's one of the hackathon guys I'm talking about. Like, he's building so cool things, and you're posting about it. I think Infamy got like so much recognition and visibility, and so on and so on. Okay, let's go with questions. So I have a question. What signals would you watch in 2026 to know XR stabilizing again? I think like first of all, not too many companies dying. I think like one thing that is so important now is like optimism and hope. Basically, I think it has like a lot of positives also that Meta's not like drugging the industry with like cocaine, like just throwing money at everything. It's stuff that just doesn't work, like Horizon, for example. I think that is something like it will stabilize by itself because the passion is still there, at least for me and for many people I know. Uh, there's events happening, conferences happening, and there will not be like no demand for this because the value of this technology is obvious, and that is why I'm very, very, very confident in this. And if you're like confident in the world, if you're like confidently right, you should not be wrong. If you're confidently right and you're in the minority, that is where you have these like extreme high upsides. Um, because everybody is like a naysayer, like everybody outside of our bubble is like, ah, fuck this VR shit, it's useless, blah, 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 blah. VR is dead. We've heard it like 1 million times already. But then if we see, okay, it actually makes sense in this case, and you identify those cases and you leverage those cases where it makes sense, then suddenly you are like a one-hit wonder, like overnight success or whatever they want to call it. And I think that is something where we should just like stay consistent in building those three things: improving your skills, building useful stuff, sharing about it, and building undeniable truth. Personal branding is everything nowadays, 100%. Yeah, I 100% agree. I would love to hear more details about your journey with it, as well as a tip or two. Yeah, we'll make it short in this session, but again, I'm happy to make a dedicated session on this. I think for me, the most important thing is like figuring out a medium and a schedule that works for you, and the topic as well. So what I mean by that, I love video. I'm a huge YouTube nerd. I spend way too much time on YouTube. I'm not super much into reading, for example, at least like blogs and articles, books, yes. So for me, like my preferred medium is usually the one where you hang out the most. So I would always recommend everybody to have like one short form and one long form. For example, like LinkedIn is a no-brainer, I would say. The cool thing is you can do video stuff on LinkedIn, you can do text stuff on LinkedIn. All of this is possible. And then really figuring out, okay, what are topics you like to talk about, and where do you kind of like think you may have an advantage or like a uh, interesting insight of also. And then the most important thing now to close this off is not going crazy with AI. Like, don't have these like stupid AI slop posts because they're like all garbage. All right, next question or thought and comment. Brand building, great topic, might be a bit crowded now as more and more extra content is posted. Oh yeah, that's a good question actually. I don't think it's crowded, to be honest. I mean, like the internet there's like so much stuff that's getting posted and coming out, but in XR there's not super much. There's not like millions of XR creators. Like you could say that fitness is crowded, okay, or gaming, or like the 7 millionth Minecraft YouTuber or something like this. But XR for sure is not. And even if it is, it doesn't really matter, to be honest, because like the way that I see it is quality always wins, quality and consistency. And if you just like keep showing up and you get better and better and better and better, it really doesn't matter how crowded something is. But still, XR, I would not say it's super crowded. So you have like all the opportunity in the world. I also think that most employees check the online presence nowadays and see what you're posting about online in addition to the CV portfolio. So good thing you have built a brand already. Yeah, this is very important. Like um, again, I'm also hiring. I'm currently hiring. By the way, if you guys are interested, I'm hiring for a marketing professional, marketing slash community, and a video editor. But we are like already, we have like 100 plus applications already. But still, if you're pretty cool and competent and you think you fit in, let me know. But yeah, we also ask for LinkedIn, for example. Like I like to check the LinkedIn. I think it helps you to kind of get a good picture. For example, I never check CVs. I don't even have this in my own form. And then many people, many companies, I know they also check online presence. Usually it's LinkedIn, but it can also be other type of forms. Often you can also just like put it in yourself, and it already shows if you're like dedicated in that industry. I think it's super, super powerful. One tip about networking I like to share is to focus on building genuine relationships. Yeah, very true. Rather than only start talking because you want something from them, or at least be subtle about it. Yeah, 100%. Very, very true. I mean, that's kind of the annoying thing with networking. Like, you have like these people who have like no emotional intelligence, and they just fucking pitch you in your face all the time. They're like, hey, I sell this, buy my stuff. I mean, you have the same on freaking LinkedIn also. So, very, very good point. Be genuine, be interested in a person, and then like try to understand them. The cool thing is, by the way, quick tip again, networking gets infinitely easier if you have a personal brand. I mean, me going to any XI event now, it's like it's a walk in the cake. I don't know if that is saying, but it's pretty smooth, pretty easy. I actually just walk 2 minutes and then I see somebody I know. Either I know them or they know me from watching my stuff. So nice wombo combo also. What non-XR events to attend that are still meaningful for the XR community? Very good question, man. I like it. The cool thing is that I see with XR actually is that I don't want to like I like to see XR not in isolation. So that means XR plus an industry. Let's say depends on what your preference is, of course. If you're like into travel and tourism, you go to a travel tourism event and then figure out, okay, how does XR apply there? Of course, a huge topic, AI. Obviously, AI and XR like best friends. They come together. um, that makes a lot of sense, 100%. But then otherwise, the cool thing with XR is it applies to pretty much any industry. So you can go to any of those events and then meet people, talk about technology, talk about how you could leverage this. I mean, that is why we have such a strong focus on enterprise in our events also. Like XRCC, we bring people from automotive, we bring people from location-based entertainment, we bring people from fashion, we bring people from um, aviation, so many like different industries, because it just like works across the board. And I think that is something where you can honestly be pretty flexible. But the easiest answer would be like AI and tech events, of course. Cool. How to survive 2026 in XR? Remember, XR is a lot. Yes, I always talk about it. XR is a lot more than games. I've worked as a VR developer for 10 years and have more work than I can handle because I don't work in a game studio. That's a pretty luxurious situation to be. 100% agree. I mean, this is also what I talk about at XRCC as well. I just talked about this in the previous question also. Like XR can be applied to so many different industries. If you have like special knowledge in some industry and you know like, okay, that's how you can solve this problem with this technology. It has to make sense. If not, then it's like a waste of time basically. But yeah, that is very true, and that is the reason why XR is here to stay. Like this is actually sums up exactly why it's so freaking obvious that XR is not going anywhere. I'm so confused with LinkedIn. It feels ungenuine to me and really want to change the way I feel about it. Um, yeah, I think this is maybe something kind of like you can filter your um, view. For me, it's like very genuine. I can tell you why it's genuine for me, because half of my feed is people I know, which is pretty awesome. Like I just know so many people. I have like so many people in the XR field that like many posts that I see are basically people I know. That is one thing. The other thing, I think it doesn't really matter how, at least that's how I see it. It doesn't really matter how it feels to you because it's like it still works, if that makes sense. And I think it will get more genuine the more you actually know the people behind the screen. So if I just scroll like 10 seconds on LinkedIn, there's somebody I know and some insight that I want to know, some person I follow, and so on and so on. I know there's like a lot of cringe stuff, but you don't need to follow that. So you can just like unfollow it and then you should be good. How do you see VR careers evolving compared to traditional software roles? Yeah, that's a very good question. I mean, that's also very difficult question because both of those are very shaken up by AI. So I couldn't even say how this is like to the latest detail, how this is for traditional software roles in terms of AI. Because one, let's say like difficult reality we are all facing, and again, I don't say it's good or bad, but it just is and it is that it's incredibly difficult for juniors right now to get a job at all. Um, if it's VR or not VR, I think that doesn't change it too much. And I think there's like so many uncertainties, which is why these three things I talked about, skill stacking, personal brand building, and proof stacking, are kind of like the best counter measurement I see regarding all of those. Because if you're like really good in VR and non VR, uh, many people know you're really good, and you have like kind of like facts or like testimonials, then you have like significantly higher chances in independent of the industry. Cool. Hello, Grace. What's up? You see, that's what I talk about LinkedIn. Like, there's again, like Dennis, I also like there's half of the feed in my chat, which is really cool. I know, which also makes it very genuine for me, at least. What are the best practices to show the online presence? LinkedIn doesn't really allow to embed your feed on the website or even give a good overview of your activity. One second, let me just read this again. LinkedIn doesn't really allow to embed your feed on the website or even give good overview of. Yeah, I think honestly you don't really. I mean, I don't have it. I don't have LinkedIn on my website, so I think the best practice to show online presence is to post on the platform. So just like regular reposting on LinkedIn, basically. I think that is like the easy answer for LinkedIn, and I think it doesn't really matter too much whether it is being shown on your website. Like LinkedIn has very stupid things. Like for example, this freaking live stream. I actually got my own comment from my own post got banned because I shared the link to the live stream, which is also LinkedIn. It's kind of retarded. It makes no freaking sense, but I guess that's kind of like limitations we have to live with. The other thing is also, by the way, this is more if you ever are interested in making your own company, or if you ever are interested in kind of like selling services or something like this, like becoming an entrepreneur, is outside of social media, build your following, like build an email list, basically. I don't know how helpful that is, like if you are looking for a job or something like this, but if not, then having your own audience, because we are all like renting our audience. Like my audience, I don't own LinkedIn audience. I own the ones that I have in my newsletter, which is like, I don't know, 10, 15,000 people. Those are the ones that you actually own. That's like a nice bonus tip. Again, if you are planning to sell a product at some point by yourself. I am also unfollowing lots of people when I think their posts are not relevant to me. This way LinkedIn got more. Yeah, 100% agree. I think that is like, that actually goes to any platform, to be honest. Like I would do the same on Instagram. I would do the same on YouTube and so on. Just like maintaining a good hygiene of your feed is pretty helpful. How can one build a scalable career? Do you think focusing solely in XR could limit the future opportunities? That's a very good point. I mean, the second question, I don't know what exactly you mean by scalable career, but probably a career that grows. Um, Again, like the good thing is I answered that exactly in the, hopefully you have been joining from the beginning. But again, to recap, the skill stacking, the personal brand building, and the proof stacking, that's like the foundation of everything. But I agree with that solely focusing on XR can limit future opportunities. This is like not, there's no obvious easy answer to this. Because as a business, for example, you want to be focused. You don't want to do like 17 things at once and get shiny object syndrome and everything. As an individual, I think having like all of your cars only on XR is maybe difficult, which is why I just like so much the kind of like idea of XR plus something, XR, or maybe even better, XR plus AI plus something, which is like the industry you are interested in, or some area where you have like special knowledge, or your co-founder who has been working in this industry for 10 years or something like this. I think like complementing XR with something is extremely beneficial. But again, for scaling, growing your career, doing those fundamental things I talk about is the best way to go, in my opinion. What's your vision for 2029? Very specific year. As an industry, as immersive experience, as Dinesh. So vision for 2029. I mean, again, like I'm maybe one of the few ones who's pretty optimistic about XR. In the long run, of course, not like right now, because today kind of this week kind of sucks. This week is pretty bad. But vision for 2029, I think one big thing that I fortunately talked about many years ago, many years ago, is that like the kind of like VR and AR will just like blend together, which is why my company is called Immersive Insiders. Um, there's going to be a very strong focus on smart glasses, AR glasses slash AI glasses, whatever you want to call this. The form factor is going to get smaller and smaller. I think XR, like VR, will stay as a niche for gaming. For example, with the Valve, I forgot the name to be honest. The Valve new headset that is coming out. Immersive experience. One thing that I actually see is like entertainment and kind of like immersive storytelling has a lot of potential. I think this could be really cool. Like there's a bunch of companies I'm in touch with right now that are focusing on that topic actually. Like an immersive cinema experience or like location-based entertainment can be really cool. As Dinesh, so for me right now, by the way, one N, not two. Um, my focus for me is actually keep focusing on growing my company, supporting, building the community, doing those type of things, building an audience, keep doing events. I love hackathons, so the hackathon model definitely stays. Works really well. Like we have pretty good product market fit on this one, and next couple of years, um, really bringing together these three big pillars, which is the platforms. So Meta, Google, Snap, Pico, like all of these big players, the big tech companies. The community, you guys, bringing a bunch of people from the community together, and our enterprise partners, because that is like the XR plus industry. We've been doing this very successful already with XRCC a couple of times now, and I want to scale this up that we can kind of like plug in these technologies, wearables, for example, into different industries that you think are really cool and interesting, for example. So that is kind of like the vision for me, at least moving forward. Yeah, man, Immersive Insiders is the best. Thank you so much. Definitely agree on utilizing LinkedIn. Most of the opportunities I personally got ended up from coming from LinkedIn. Yeah, 100%. I think there's like very good opportunities here. Primarily think following and just being part of cool people and groups that are doing something in this field is going to help. Yeah, absolutely. I think that is definitely the way to go. What things are you specifically looking for when you browse someone on LinkedIn profile? Usually their posts. I mean, that's the most important thing. Like, of course, their profile. That's kind of like the first impression. The profile, if it's like it is like decently maintained. Like if it's like if it doesn't even have an image, it's like what the fuck. But mostly it's a post actually. Like, first of all, it's the person even posting. Most people don't post, so then it's already okay. There's not much to get from this profile, to be honest. But if the and it's not even like you don't have to have the smartest post on the universe. I mean, you just have to be a genuine human being sharing your thoughts and your learnings, and like not doing some cringe AI slop, because it already disqualifies everybody immediately. And then just like engaging with people. I think that's like just being human. I think that's a huge plus already. And that's like usually what I would want to check. And then of course like some like basic stuff that I see on the profile. Funny story that happened earlier today. I came across a LinkedIn profile with a description summary that brings me extremely creepy vibes. Exactly, just like get the fuck out of here. Then, and that's why you want to be careful not to have creepy stuff in your description. Do you think it's a bad time to do masters in this field right now, UK, Germany? Oof, man, that's a long and spicy topic. Honestly, I think you can do a lot significantly more than many years ago already just by yourself without a master. but I don't want to be the bad influence guy telling people not to study. In the end, it's your decision. I mean, I'm perfectly fine as a dropout, especially in software. Uh, I'm not too sure about this, to be honest, because you can just like learn things on your own so much faster and so much better. But if that is your thing, then definitely do it. So I don't want to discourage you from doing this. But for me, I've learned a lot outside of that. What works best for building a tech XR company today? I mean, there's like 1 billion things you need to do to build a tech/XR company. If you're talking about like a brand and because you have like social media links inside of your question, then I would say LinkedIn for sure. Instagram, if you have something, if you have like a visual product, then it makes sense. But the most important thing is actually like first of all starting and doing something that you enjoy. If you like video, do YouTube. If you like something else, then do something else, and then just like build new channels on top of that. Man, we got a lot of questions. So I think we are pretty good now. Please let me know now also in the comments if anybody is still here. Do you like the format? Do you don't like the format? What do you want to have changed? How can we make it more interesting for you guys? And so on and so on. And then we can do many more cool, successful live streams for you guys. Thank you so much, everybody. And I will see you then next week, which, by the way, I will be at MIT Reality Hack. So anybody there, let's meet up and looking forward to meeting you in person.